Good evening, and thank you for joining us for the night report here on KREM 2 News. I'm Sydney Schofield. Tonight we are learning at least one person died in the Upriver Fire. Both fire and sheriff's officials confirming there was a fatality, and evacuations for hundreds of people are still in place tonight. We want to show you the evacuation map here. The level 2 evacuations are in yellow. Anyone living in this yellow zone can go home tonight, but you do still need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. However, those in this red area here, this is level 3. Everyone there still cannot return home tonight. At last check, the fire is burning 217 acres. Crews have the fire at 10% containment. We've also learned the fire officially destroyed 14 structures, with more still threatened tonight. And tonight, as community members go on day 3 without being able to go home, Spokane County has organized a new resource center for those affected by the Upriver Fire. KREM 2's Christian Garza had the chance to stop by the new Connection Center and shares more tonight about its resources for those who've lost everything.
The Community Connection and Disaster Assistance Center is here to help all the different people who had to evacuate during the Upriver Fire this week. Now, there are so many different agencies here to help. Just to name a few, there's the American Red Cross, Spokane County Fire District 9, as well as Spokane County Emergency Management. Now, they are here to answer any questions or address any concerns that people might have, especially those who are unable to get to their house as of right now. A busy room full of resources like incident information, recovery assistance, and county services.
Yeah, so for sure a piece of
100%.
For community members like the Hyatts who have not been able to get to their house since Tuesday.
The feeling of I have to leave was weird. We were all just out of breath, trying to grab what we could.
The Hyatts' house sits in the level 3 evacuation area, meaning they can't go back until further notice. They say this brief stop at the assistance center brought them a calm they haven't felt in the last few days.
So it's nice to have the information, even if it's not exactly everything we need to know. It's at least helpful to talk to somebody and, you know, have the resources available for us.
Yeah, I think that when people are in situations like this, just communication is the only thing we have to hold on to.
Spokane County Fire District 9 Fire Chief Matthew Vinci confirmed 14 homes have been destroyed from the Upriver Fire.
And we're sad about that, but we saved hundreds of homes in that neighborhood.
Fire Chief Vinci says at this point, fire crews have been able to set up a wet line 100 feet in around the entire fire. Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles says this assistance center emphasizes the message that the only way through this sort of tragedy is together.
Certainly there's not going to be anything that we're going to provide people here today that is going to make this not have happened. What we're here to do is to make sure that they have the resources they need to start that recovery process.
And as another day passes for these families not able to return home, the Hyatts had this message from one family affected by this fire to another.
Keep your head up. It's almost over. Hopefully everything's going to come out on the up and up. And we're praying for everybody anyway. So.
The Community Connection and Disaster Assistance Center is located at the Pasadena Park Church of the Nazarene. Now, they do have limited hours until Saturday. We, of course, have all those times listed on our website, krem.com. In Spokane County, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
And tonight we're hearing from a family who lived in one of those 14 homes that burned down in the Upriver Fire. John Schuler and his family are now trying to figure out what's next, telling us they had only minutes to evacuate before the fast-moving fire reached their property.
It sounds like a cliche, but it was so fast. You think that you've got time to prepare. Yeah, we stared at these wires for a long time before realizing, like, oh, that was the piano, but it had fallen through the floor and like stuff like that. It must have got real hot real fast. Forgetting and then have a like, oh, I can't go pick up that thing. I can't just swing by the house and grab that thing that I need right now because it's not there anymore.
Now, as they come to terms with losing the home they'd lived in for 7 years, he says he's grateful his family made it out safely. He's leaning on his faith, church community, and support from friends as they begin the long process of rebuilding.
This is Teddy. He's also here displaced from the fire. Oh, sweetheart. Hi, baby. It's all right. They know something is.
Now, when
for
some
sure
families
wrong.
evacuated
Yes,
from the
they can
Upriver
just
Fire,
sense
they
it.
needed a place to take their pets.
Away
Spoke
from their
Animals
people.
stepped up and is now caring for about half a dozen animals while their families get settled or back into their homes.
They're frantic and they're scared, and we're just happy that we're able to help take this piece off of their plate. They don't know that it's a safe place. They're not confident in that, but they're so desperate they don't have any other option. Whenever there's something horrible that happens, everyone pulls together. We have an amazing team here, and we just make it work. We make sure that everyone is safe.
Spoke Animals says they will continue to find space for any pets impacted by the fire and hold them for families who are working to make living arrangements. Solnix, a local bike shop, is raising money for those impacted by the Upriver Fire at an event that they're hosting this weekend on June 20th. They'll be showing mountain bike videos. There will be beer, barbecue. It takes place on Saturday from 4 to 8 p.m. Anyone is welcome to come show their support and help their cause. Of course, we've been closely following the Upriver Fire, but there are several other fires burning in our region. In southeast Washington, the Two Cannon Fire near Dayton is still burning at 7,700 acres. It's 10% contained at last check. The fire is still threatening homes and critical infrastructure tonight, but we know there are no evacuations in place right now. No homes have been lost here, but some outbuildings were damaged on Tuesday. The cause of this fire remains under investigation tonight. Near Omak, level 3 evacuations are in place for the Cartar Fire. This is another wildfire that's burning another wildfire burning near the Cartar Fire has now merged with it. So the total size of the blaze now sits at about 7,500 acres. Right now, hotshot crews, bulldozers, and air crews are all working to secure fire lines. The fire is 0% contained tonight. Level 3 go now evacuations are in effect for the Cartar Valley. The initial investigation found that the fire was human caused. Specific details, though, remain under investigation tonight. And we're learning firefighters are making major progress on the Gold Run fire in North Idaho, completing a fire line around the entire perimeter of the blaze there. Crews are working now to strengthen those lines and monitor hot spots to prevent any reignition. Officials say the Highwater Road area, including Country Club Road, remains closed while fire operations continue. The Trail of the Coeur d'Alenes is expected to reopen to pedestrians tomorrow morning. At last check, the fire is estimated to be around 235 acres in size. The cause is still under investigation tonight. Tonight, we have new video of the moment that a Spokane Police Department sergeant made a daring rescue during a house fire on Sunday. Listen as he comes across the victim inside that home.
Where are you, dear? There you are. Help. I'm going to help you, okay?
The police say
I'm going to
that
have to drag you, okay? Ready?
Police say that Sergeant Mahandro responded to a fire on the South Hill and learned an 82-year-old woman was still inside the home. Before fire crews got there, he entered the burning house, followed her cries for help, found her injured near the top of a staircase, and he carried her out to safety where fire and medical crews took over. Spokane fire officials call his actions an exceptional demonstration of bravery. All right, let's head to our outdoor weather center now, where meteorologist Michelle Boss is standing by, keeping a close eye on conditions and what conditions look like for fire crews as they continue to battle these fires into the evening.
In the short term, we've got much lighter winds out there right now. Light winds expected for tomorrow, but we do expect an increase in the winds on Saturday here locally in Spokane. Nothing crazy, but gust up to around 25 miles per hour. There could be stronger winds elsewhere across the inland northwest, and we'll look at that in just a moment. But outside right now, current wind speeds generally between 5 miles per hour and calm in Deer Park and in Kettle Falls, calm in Moses Lake and Othello, and calm across the Palouse. So winds really not an issue. Still pretty mild out here after a warm day in the low to mid 80s across the region. We're at 73 in Spokane, in the 60s in Coeur d'Alene, cooler up north in the 50s, and cool across the Palouse, 58 in Pullman. It's a warm 77 in Moses Lake. But due to elevated winds on Saturday, we do have a fire weather watch for the Okanagan Valley, for the Kittitas Valley. This is for Saturday. We could see winds up to 40 miles per hour. We'll have to wait and see whether those fire weather watches will be upgraded to red flag warnings as we get a little bit closer. But otherwise, quiet weather across the inland northwest, clear skies for tonight. Temperatures are headed down into the mid 50s, and then we're going to be warming it back up for tomorrow. Mid 80s tomorrow under partly cloudy skies. A little bit breezier on Saturday, still warm 84, and then just a hair cooler, and actually a gorgeous day on the way for the first day of summer and for Father's Day. Mostly sunny skies on Sunday with highs in the low 80s.
A jury has to decide whether the Meade School District showed deliberate indifference by failing to investigate claims of racial discrimination during an alleged hazing incident. Today, witnesses for the plaintiffs were called, including Meade School District Superintendent Travis Hansen, who was questioned about when he learned about the incident and the details of the report. The plaintiffs also called in Connie Kimball, an education expert, to speak to district policy and the impact of trauma in a learning setting.
There were no reports made, which gave the what do I want to say, perception to the victims that nothing was going to be done, they weren't going to be supported, they weren't safe, and the harm continued to fester in their own minds and hearts.
Now, the families of two former student athletes are suing the district following accusations that other students held them down and assaulted them with a massage gun during a 2023 district-sponsored football camp at Eastern Washington University. We'll continue to follow this case and bring you the latest when the defense calls their witnesses as well. And we have new video of the crash that caused the death of 3 motorcyclists in Idaho. A Colorado woman is in the Idaho County Jail facing 3 counts of vehicular manslaughter after Idaho State Police say she caused a deadly crash near Kuski. Yesterday, 60-year-old Neil Brewer of Colorado Springs had her first court appearance. Court records show that Brewer illegally tried to pass a semi on a double yellow line. Witnesses told investigators that Brewer's pickup hit all 3 eastbound motorcycles head-on. 2 of the motorcyclists were identified as members of the Larimer County Sheriff's Office, according to our Denver news partners. The motorcyclists have been identified as 35-year-old Ethan Powers, 45-year-old Jeremy Coleman, and 26-year-old Nathan McCormick, all from Colorado. The crash remains under investigation tonight. The Spokane Police Department responded to a reported vehicle rollover near 3rd and Perry in the area of Liberty Park on Wednesday. Officers got there to find a vehicle on its side, which was completely blocking traffic on 3rd Avenue. They say they found the driver at the scene and say they saw signs of impairment. Afterward, the driver was arrested on DUI charges and taken into custody. Witnesses at the scene said they saw the vehicle driving at high speeds before losing control and flipping. Stay with us. Much more to come tonight. License plate reader cameras are popping up across Idaho, but now a legal challenge could put their future in question. Why several cities are being threatened with a lawsuit. We'll be right back.